Massacre on the beat!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Winlife podcast with yours truly, Elwin Coleman. Very excited, very blessed today to bring you a special interview. Well, they're all very special, aren't they? But today we have an interview with a close friend, colleague, and mentor. We have an interview today with Mr. Neil Jones. So, welcome, brother.
Well, Al, how you doing?
Okay. Doing good, bro. So
that was
Neil,
a cool intro, by the way. That's a cool intro.
All right. So Neil is a Forex trader residing in the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. He attended Northeast Worcester College. Before his trading career, Neil focused on engineering and graphic design. These days, Neil, known as Neo to the trading community, spends his mornings crushing the London markets and his afternoons enjoying family activities and building on his home. The Winlife podcast welcomes Neil to the show. Welcome, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you, man. Thank you.
So how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really good. Life, you know what? Life is just so good. Life just gets better and better and better. So, you know, it's down to Forex, you guys, Human, that have put me in that, you know, that good place, if you like. So, you know, as a family man, you know, I'm married, I've got 2 children. We had it hard, you know. I had to work really hard for my money to make sure food was on the table. And some stories I could tell you today, and I look back now and I think, damn, why didn't I get into this years and years and years ago? But we all say that, don't we? We all say, I wish I'd done that 5 years ago. But I'm just blessed that, you know, I met up with Human and yourself and some other guys, and, you know, it's given me a better life. You know, that's what we all thrive for, isn't it? We thrive to have a better life, and we thrive to make sure our kids can have that good life as well.
Definitely. And just thinking from a glass half full perspective, I know a lot of people who are just getting into investing or just learning how to buy cryptos now. And I look back and I say, yeah, I've been in this business a bit over 3 years. I'm glad I started when I started. So, you know, even though I didn't start 10 years ago, it would have been awesome to think where I could be at now. Everything happened how it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? You know, I mean, I studied graphic design because I wanted to be a graphic designer when I was 18 years old. That was the only job that I wanted to do. And I tell you a little bit about myself is I can't stop still. Does that make sense? So I worked up through the ranks of been doing graphic design. I got a degree, left college, started as a junior, worked my way up, started another company, and then started a company called Pertemps, which is a massive recruitment firm. Okay. And I was like a mid-range graphic designer. And they saw my skills and they said, this is brilliant, blah, 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 blah. But in that type of industry, you can only earn so much money. Okay. And I had a guy up from me who was the senior. He was never going to leave. So I was never going to take his job. And I went to work for a company in Birmingham, UK, for 3 Irish guys, which was more money. And sometimes we say the grass is not always green at the other side. And I hated it. They made my life a misery. I was working 14, 15 hours a day for peanuts, coming home stressed out, taking it out on your family. And it got to the point where I couldn't go to work anymore. Now, anyone that relates to a job that you hate, there is nothing worse out there. Believe me. So I thought, okay, I'm going to come out of the industry. I've done it, you know, got the T-shirt, and I walked out of the company. We just got our mortgage as well, right? And Ellie, bless her, and I'll talk about Ellie. She was a baby back then. I went home to my
Is that
wife.
your daughter?
Yeah, that's my daughter. Yeah. I
Okay,
went
so
back
you had
home.
mortgage, a new kid, and you just walked out on your job, huh?
I walked out of my job because I had abuse in the workplace, if you like. You know, it was like a manipulation, and I don't like people that manipulate other people. And it was got to the point where I couldn't take much more, and it was quite a stressful time. You know, when you're coming home depressed. You're not enjoying life. You just sat there on the sofa, just staring into space. And I knew I had to do something about it. And I look back now, do you know what? I wish I didn't leave Pertemps because that company looked after you, you know? They gave you bonuses. You could do what you like within reason. You know, the pressure wasn't as much. But I think going up to the Forex, and I'll explain the story, kind of everything works out, right? Because I remember walking out this place 5:30, I turned around to my boss and I said, I've had enough, I'm leaving. And I walked out, I rang my wife and I said, I've just walked out my job. She's gone, what? What are you doing? I said, don't worry, I can see a sign, because as I walked down some stairs, I'll never forget, it said, employing Sky engineers, it's called. We have Sky TV over. It's a bit like your cable.
Okay. Yeah. I watch sports sometimes on there when I need
a Yeah. So I walked in. I said, do you have any jobs? I just needed to get away from that industry. I needed to just to forget it. I took me on as a junior again. The money went down a lot, but I enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest. I really, really, really enjoyed it.
What were you doing there?
Well, what I was doing is I was fitting satellite dishes. Okay. So they trained me up for about 2 months, and they gave me a van, gave me the tools, and then I started going out to people's houses. But I think what I loved about it is I love meeting new people. So I was meeting new people every single day, you know, and I was out in the open, the fresh air, and I've been stuck in an office for years, and it was just a total change from everything. And anyway, I worked really hard with Sky. And the more and more people asked me, you know, oh, could you do a job for me, you know, on the side? Could you do this for me? And I built up like a clientele, you know, and I've turned around to Sky and said, look, I'm thinking about doing my own thing, but I still want to keep your work on. So they said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. They put me on 3 days a week. And then the rest of the week, you know, I work private work, you know, so I could earn some more money. And then eventually, I went on to do my own business full time, and I worked really hard.
What did you call it?
I called it NJD Limited because it's a limited company. It's folded now.
Neil Jones Dish?
No, Neil Jones Digital, it's called.
Okay.
I'd sort of, again, I got to the point of, I took my business to where I could take it, you know. And don't get me wrong, I was earning phenomenal money. I mean, phenomenal. We were doing £300, £500, £600 a day, but we had to work damn hard for that money. And it took me a long time. You know, I put everything on the line to set my own business up. And anyone will tell you in business, you know, it's a big step from being employed. So basically, you know, me and my wife went without money for 5 years. We struggled, but I believed that I could do it. You know, I believed I could get the customers in, and I believed that it could give us a better life, because there's a saying over here in the UK, you know, you work for yourself to better yourself, and you don't earn enough money working for someone else. You never will. So I had that mental, you know, thing in my head, thinking, right, you know, if I could take this business to whatever level I could. But anyway, you know, it kind of shot up and then just went sideways for a long time. And I thought, is this it? Is this how far it is?
You were in
And
accumulation.
Yeah. I don't think it would ever gone further, if you like. And I was earning good money, in all honesty. But
why do you think that was? Was it just the satellite industry, or could you have scaled your business somehow? Maybe got more drivers, more trucks, something like that.
I could have. Yeah, I could have. But I did have staff. I had 4 engineers working for me at a time. So I weren't spending as much time on the field as I wanted to. But that comes a lot of responsibility. You've got to find people's mortgages for them. You've got to find a salary.
Benefits, medical.
Yeah. And what happened was, when you run your own business here in the UK, all they want to do is hammer you for tax. Everything's a tax. So you had to find fuel for the vans. You had to find money for the vans every month. Their pensions kept going up. Their tax kept going up. And it got to the point of people only pay what they want to pay. That's a fact of life. So we couldn't go to people and charge a £150 job and charge £300 because people don't have that kind of money. So it was almost breaking even in the end, sending an engineer out. By the time you got all your overheads out, and I was making 10, 20 quid a time. And it just wasn't worth the amount of stress and hassle that came with that. And anyone that runs a business and has staff, there's a lot of work involved.
Right. You're like, I could go work a 9 to 5 and not have to deal with all this. Not that you want to, but
exactly that. Exactly that.
Were you incorporated as an LLC? I'm not exactly sure how it works in the UK, but
we was a limited liability company. So, for example, if something went wrong, the company just gets shut down. My house wasn't up, to get taken off me, or it was limited to that company.
Were you getting tax breaks, or getting tax benefits, or kind of writing stuff off against the LLC?
No. They don't let you over here, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. See, in the States, that's kind of the game. You write everything off against your business.
Yeah, it's quite strict here in the UK. I know that because I've dealt with HMRC. And if we went out for a meal with friends, I couldn't put that through my books. That type of thing. It doesn't allow you to do that over here. Obviously, that kind of thing, you'd have to be in that kind of industry. But a satellite engineer taking some friends out for a meal and try and put that ticket in your books, no, that's not going to happen. So there wasn't really any benefits of it. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you're really successful. You worked hard," and yeah, I worked damn hard on it. For 3.5 years, right? I did 16 hours a day, 7 days a week to run that business with staff. Never saw my wife, never saw my kids. And after that 3.5 years, I was like, where am I now? Where am I in my life? Am I any better? No. Am I stressed out? Yes. Am I going to end up 6 foot under? Probably yes. Yeah. Because the stress that comes with it is incredible, So, but along the lines, I was kind of dipping in and out of Forex for a number of years, a long time, in fact.
When was your first introduction, or
first introduction for me for Forex, believe it or not, was around 2016, 2017. And there's a local guy to me that does Forex. He trades support and resistance, I think. I went on a few seminars with him. He does very well out of it, and that's great. And I just didn't like the way he traded. It wasn't for me. And I think, with trading, I've said before, you've got to find your own rhythm with it, Someone can only point you in the right direction with trading, but you've got to find your own cool.
Yeah, we highlight that every time I get to interview a trader or an investor. I really like to kind of see the differences because everyone does their own thing, but it's the similarities that kind of tell the story. And you'll notice that all of us, we have our systems, we have our rule sets, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. But, when my business wasn't doing great, You know, we wasn't earning millions of pounds. We saved up some money, me and my wife. And I'm ashamed to say this, and I've said it a number of times, and I would never want people to do this, is I took money out of our savings, which was 30,000 quid, okay, and I put it into Forex, and I blew every single penny. Took me.
Was this like all at once, or was it
all at once? All at once, yeah. One
Why didn't
swoop.
you start with like a smaller amount? What made you go big or go home like that?
Because it's greed. You see people right on YouTube, and people that don't know Forex are so magnified to these bullshitters. Okay, on YouTube, oh, you could earn this if you put 10 grand in your account, we'll trade it for you, or follow our Forex signals and you'll make lots of money. And all I was doing was trying to make our lives better, even though it doesn't look like that. And the situation just got worse and worse and worse, you know. And I'm plowing through 20 grand, and I'm thinking, right.
How did it happen? Like, did you sign up for a signal service, or were you like account managed? What were the biggest things that hit you, or like kind of just cautionary?
IC markets, me opening up accounts, you know, putting 10 grand in there and literally just over leveraging massively, hoping for the best. I never forget, right, I put a trade on, I can't remember what day it was or what year, put a trade on. I massively over leveraged on the hoping that trade would come in, you know, and if that trade came in, it would make our lives.
You make it all back, right? You make it all back.
Yeah, all back and more. And I was thinking, please. And it went into the blue for some time. And it started to reverse. But anyway, I never forget. I never put a stop loss on it. I remember going to sleep scared, you know, and I was waking up every half an hour looking at the trade, getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'll never forget, I fell asleep and the whole 10 grand went when I woke up. And that feeling, okay, was horrendous. You know, when you sit up in bed in the morning and I'm looking at my wife and thinking, what have I done? You know, what have I done? Okay, I'll put another 10 grand in and I'll do the same, exactly the same again. And hope.
Because you were going to make that last 10 grand back that you lost, right?
Yeah, of course. That's what the whole perception of Forex is, isn't it? You know, it's like, you know, coming like to Vegas. Our world and we can make you lots of money, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, you do your Forex signals. That's a load of crap. And so on and so forth.
How did your wife take it? Or, you know, how I can imagine that put a strain on things.
Massive strain, huge strain. So, yeah, we didn't get on for a long time through that because, you know, I did a bad thing. In all fairness, I did a bad thing, but I was trying to make our life better. Does that make sense?
Bad thing, but good intentions.
Yeah. You know, I didn't just take the money and run off. You know, I took that money on the intention, right, I'm going to make our lives better. You know, I ain't going to do this, you know, for my wife and my kids. Because I just want a good life like anyone else, you know. So, yeah, I had to go back to my business then and work hard on that. And put some of the money back, if you like.
Let's kind of step back a little bit. So,
yeah, it was almost like, yeah, oh shit, I fucked up, right?
Did you feel like, you know what, this isn't for me, let me just quit this? Like, did you want to kind of give up at that point? Or
no? Do you know what? In all the money I've lost and all the bullshit that people have told me and the signal services, I never, ever, ever have one thought where I want to quit. Ever.
There's no quitting you, bro. No quitting you. That's why you are where you are. That's actually that right there.
Yeah, I'm like a dog with a bone. Now, anyone that knows me, I hate stuff that beats me. Hate it. So what I did, started going back to work, working hard, you know, trying to put some of the money back at least. And over the evenings, I found Phorexia, believe it or not. That was the first thing that led me to whom.
Was it on YouTube?
Yes.
That's how I found it too. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. This is nothing I've seen before. It's no bullshit. People, not trying to sell me something. They're basically saying, look, the markets are manipulated. Do you want to learn that? And I'm like, yes, I do. So I started watching YouTube videos. I watched all Forex's stuff, all the free stuff. So I couldn't afford to buy it, I'll be honest. I was working to pay my bills, really. And then, the wife caught me a couple of times in bed watching it on my phone. She's like, turn it off, you can't do that. And this is, that's just, and then I opened up a few demo accounts. I would never do live money, because I was so scared of losing more money.
So at this point, you were negative 10K or more?
It's negative over 30 grand.
Oh, okay. You're already negative 30. So now you start doing it the right way.
Yeah. So now I'm like, right, okay. It's like a massive reset. You're almost like, right, okay, what's the best way to approach this? Cut all that Instagram crap out. Cut all the Forex signals out. You've got to learn it, right? No one is going to help you in this game, right? Unless you pay them for mentorship. No one is going to give you Forex signals and make you millions. It's not going to happen. It's unicorn stuff, right? It's fairy tale. It's bullshit. So I started doing some of Dylan's stuff. And however much I loved Dylan's stuff, I was winning and losing, which was definitely progress from where I was.
Right.
And then I remember Human. This was before he had GPG, I think. He was in the Forex groups and he was winning all the time. And I was like, man, I want to be like him. He's so cool. Why is he winning
Only
everything?
if you knew what was going on behind the scenes. We were struggling. Exactly. We were getting there, but we were struggling too.
Yeah. The struggle was real.
Yeah. But to the outside world, you don't see that.
Yeah. But I kept a close eye on him with his, because he used to post his trades on there. I was thinking, he's trading slightly different to what Forex is trading. And I like it, And then I just kept watching then. I was trading demo. I was kind of consistent, but not. Does that make sense?
Kind of break even-ish?
Yeah, breaking even-ish, at the end of the month. Lose 1 week, win 1 week, and...
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's progress for any trader, but we want to get past that part.
Yeah, but I still had that mental thing. I am going to win it. I'm going to overcome Forex. I don't care how long it takes. Anyway, I went to my wife and I said, listen, I can't get Forex out of my head. It's driving me nuts. It's something I just can't. It's the only thing in my life that I can't get out of my head. I'm always thinking about it. Always want to learn in it, And I said, look, if you give me the chance, okay, I said, I want to go on a course, a proper course, which happened to be GPG. And it was an awful lot of money for us back then.
Was it our boot camp or was it you did the boot camp? Oh man. So that's how you got in. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The boot camp.
That boot camp was awesome.
Yeah. And I remember speaking to Dave. I didn't know Dave back then. Dave, he's like the moderator, isn't he, for GPG?
Yeah, Dave is one of our friends who helps with GPG. Yeah, he's a close friend, close trader of ours.
Yes. And I'll never forget messaging Dave saying, and he's probably got the screenshot today. I said, is this for real? Can I win? It's giving me all the right vibes for some reason. It just seems legitimate. And he was going, yeah. He said, if you do learn it and you do it the right way, you can. He never promised. He said you can get to a point of being consistent. So I went back to the wife. I said, look, this is what he's saying, la, la, la. And my wife said to me, this is your last time. This doesn't work. You just have to work for a living, And I don't mean any disrespect for anyone that works for a living, and they have my utmost respect. But I knew, right, that I could have that life. I just knew. I don't know why. I just never ever gave up. And my wife said, "You just won't give up, will you?" I'm like, "No, I can't." I almost had to do this course to then say, "No, it didn't work. I'm just going to go back to work now and just go and get a 9 to 5 job." But if it does work, then great, you know. So anyway, I took the course, and I just had the biggest light bulb eureka moment that Human showed, and it was traps. The way he explained the traps in the market, and that, right, was my missing piece of the puzzle, where I was not consistent but consistent. And as soon as I understood the way traps happened in markets, I started being consistent, really consistent. And then I'll still make a few mistakes, you know, along the lines. And then all of a sudden, I'm earning 400 quid a week. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I'm earning 600 quid a week. I'm like, it's not.
But hang on, you say all of a sudden, what there had to be a jump between, you know, I'm getting the traps and now I'm profitable.
Yeah.
Was there maybe something like with your trading plan or with your mental or something that shifted too, other than just your technique?
Yeah, I mean, also discipline. Discipline was the other one, but I didn't have discipline. The discipline side of it, meaning sticking to your trading plan for the start, being patient, and just understanding the way traps work in the market, the way the market makers do trap you, and don't be scared to stop in a trade because they're currently some news has come in and your trade's going the other way, but you're still in the blue. It's just a little trick by the banks to try and scaremonger you, and that's what happens a lot in the markets. It's called scaremongering, isn't it? Scare you out the charts.
Clear the board.
Yeah.
I just want to give a big thank you to Mark English. He is the big homie, and me and Human, before that boot camp, maybe a year, me and Human did extensive training with Mark. And you know how we say no one's going to teach you for free, but Mark actually did teach us for free, and it was just out of a blessing. One day, Human just was adding all the the mentors to a little chat me, him, and Thomas had, and we were blessed enough for Mark to. I remember I was in San Francisco with the wifey on a business trip, and I just went down to the like the hotel where they have like a business center or whatever. And then I was in the Zoom early in the morning and I was like, yo, this is it. Like, I feel so official. Like, I'm going to make it. And that was just really a pivotal point. But I just wanted to shout out Mark, because without Mark really teaching us about those traps, Human and I don't teach these traps. I don't have my Winlife signature, and, you don't learn the traps from Human. So I just wanted to really give a gratitude because, wow, look where the lineage is taking us. Yeah,
well, this is it, isn't it? I mean, it's very rare that you get a good person, that will help you. That's what I found with Forex. There's a lot of people out there that will just walk all over you to get to where they want to get, fake people, if you like.
Yeah, fake gurus. It's an epidemic of them. It's
rife, isn't it?
Pathetic, man. Yeah. And I even don't like it because I feel like it can kind of discredit what we try to do. So I just have to do my best to stay with a bunch of integrity and always to stay transparent,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But no, and obviously, the DMAs with Human on his course, started using them, and I was doing really, really well. And I was getting really consistent. I was having losing days and then winning days, but at the end of the week, instead of the month, I was up. That was the difference. And then I'd be so excited, on the Sunday night, thinking, am I going to be up by the Friday of the next week? And I would be. And I thought, okay, I'm almost like got one hand on that fast car now, I just need to throw myself in that car and I'm in, and I just worked on that. And what I did was I traded the way Human trades, to start just bringing some money in. But then I started to take some of Human's stuff and really, really experiment, with Forex. And gradually I took DMAs away, and now I just trade candles. I trade with no indicators. I just trade clean charts. That's it. That's all I need.
Describe your trading strategy as best you can without any charts.
Okay. My trading strategy is, I suppose it's smart money concepts, where institutions move prices so quickly away from a certain price, and I am able to understand, when institutions are involved in a move, and they'll always bring that move back to the original point, which is just called an order block. And that's the way I trade. I don't trade any other way. It's nice and simple for me. And it's really, really catapulted me, to a point where, the money I've earned it's extraordinary, really. It would take me years working for someone to earn the money I'm earning now. I'm going to be honest. And
yeah, I can imagine, not to figure drop, but I can imagine you're banking $1 million a year just by watching your results, bro.
It is phenomenal.
And I mean, I'm in the room with you, so I get to see, lot size.
You've seen it.
We don't really show our lot size to the public, but behind the scenes, I gotta say, kudos. Pizza on you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's given me that life I've always wanted, right? And whether that was Forex, whether that was running your own business, it's giving me that life where I can just go and do something whenever I like, and not worry about the money in the bank, not worry about, the mortgage is coming out tomorrow and got the gas and electric coming out. So no, we can't do that today. But when I get some more money in the bank, we'll do it, type of thing. But now, I remember putting all the money back in our savings and more. And, I said to my wife, I just can't thank you enough for, and it makes me emotional now,
Let it out.
Oh, yeah. Just thank you so much for trusting in me, And that takes a lot for a lady to do that. It really does, for considering what I did, okay? And now I make sure I give her the good life, and she deserves that good life because of what I put her through, really.
Every single bit. Never forget that.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And, since I've been consistent, I've trained people, and there's one person, whether I mention him or not, he's in our little room. He hasn't been consistent for many years. Now he's killing the market. And I'm so happy for him because he deserves it. Yeah. And it's like holding a bird, isn't it? And going, fly away, bird. You're now free. You can do what you like. And it's so, so cool to see people making money out of Forex, because everyone deserves, something in life. And my daughter saw me earning this money, and I'll tell you a few stories about my daughter. She's a bit of a nightmare, but she's got her head screwed on. She said, Dad, can I learn? I was like, oh, okay. Trying to teach a 17-year-old is going to be difficult. So I taught my daughter how to trade exactly like me, and all she trades is gold. And she's earning more money now being an 18-year-old than a directorship of a big company. She's just been to Ibiza. She paid for all her friends, paid for all the spending money. And I'll tell you a little story, and I love this story, however much it's kind of like weird. She earned 3,000 quid, her first 3,000 quid, which is a lot of money for an 18-year-old. So she went to the bank, took a rucksack with her, got all the money out and put it in the rucksack. And then she met her mates uptown. He said, look what I've got. And security guards, right, kind of took a liking to it, thinking, hold on, where's this money come from? What's she doing? Is she drug dealing? What's she doing? Anyway, they held her. They said, we need to know where this money come from. So my daughter was saying, oh, it's mine, I've earned it. No one carries £3,000 cash in a rucksack. That's a bit weird. So the police turned up and the police knocked our door. And they said, is this your daughter? I said, yeah. Now she's carrying around a substantial amount of cash. I said, I know. I said, that's her money. She's a Forex trader. And the copper was like, you're joking, yeah? And I was like, no. He said,
he said, can you teach me?
Yeah, he did. He actually said
no
that. Yeah,
way.
Yeah. He actually said that. Yeah. He said, 3,000 quid. He said, I can't earn that in a month. That's being a police officer. That's someone on the front line, who's risking his life or whatever he's doing.
Right. To the point they couldn't fathom someone could do that.
Yeah.
They had to be stealing or a drug dealer.
Yeah, exactly that. And, I said to Elle, I said, look, you can't do that, You have to be careful. Yeah, it's got ahead of you a bit. You've earned some money. Brilliant. But just have your head screwed on about you, because there are people out there that will, use you or steal your money or whatever. But now she's doing really, really well. And my daughter now hasn't got to go through what me and my wife went through. Because
doesn't she have like the ultimate designer bag collection that she bought herself? Am I right?
Oh, yeah. She buys all sorts of designer gear. I think I filmed it ages ago in the bedroom.
I remember. It was a couple years back, but I can only imagine. And these are grown women like in their 40s who save up for months or who charge it to their credit cards, go in debt for those same bags.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, she's learnt a skill for life now. And I said to her, you've got this skill. Okay, you could trade Forex, but she says, no, Dad, I just want to trade gold. Gold seems to be the better one for me. And, I want to pass that on to my son. He's only young at the minute. So, I said to my wife, we'll make sure our son, has this as well. And everything else is history. I mean, I'm just going back when I had to work so hard. And this is quite heartbreaking, this story. And this is why I appreciate, what I've got now. I remember my wife pressured us. She said, all we do is pay bills, come home, watch telly. That's the norm, isn't it? When you're in a 9-to-5 job, it's rubbish, really, isn't it? It's not the life, is it? And she says, I just want to go away. So I was like, oh, shit, okay. I'm going to have to get some money from somewhere. So anyway, I managed to get some money from somewhere. I said, let's go down, down south just for the day or the beach. And we were like on the beach and stuff. And the kids said, oh, we're really hungry. And I was like, okay, cool. So I've got like my banking app on my phone. And we go into this restaurant. Well, not a restaurant, it's like a cafe. And the kids said, I want this, want that. And you look at the menu, you look at your bank balance, you're thinking, okay. You're working it out to see if you can afford that food and that drink. And I turned around to my wife and I said, listen, we can only afford the kids to have something to eat. Damn. So my wife said, well, make sure they eat them. So me and my wife, we had to go without, but we always made sure the kids could have something, And I remember paying for it on my card, going back into the app, and my bank balance saying 0.
Oh.
And when you go through that, you just think life sucks. Even though I paid all my bills out, I thought, this is not life. We shouldn't have to be doing this. We shouldn't have to be
wage slave.
Yes, and I think that's what's driven me so much, right, to learn Forex, because it can give you that life, that comfortable life.
But even it seems like you wanted it before, like you had to find something. So you started with the business and you just had to find something to take control of your financial future.
Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, like I say, I'm really divulging into my personal life now. But
keep it coming.
Yeah, I think it's, when I had a job, okay, the company wasn't paying me. And what we tend to do as men is we swallow our pride a little bit. We put our head in the sand, and we all think it's going to go away. Okay, bills don't go away. Your mortgage doesn't go away. So we had letters come through the post. I remember ripping them up. I wouldn't open the letters. I put them in the car so the missus couldn't see them. And it got to the point where we had a court letter, okay, stating we're going to repossess your house. And I'm like, holy shit, this isn't good. This isn't good. I remember I had to come out with it with my wife, told her, and this is what I'm saying.
That's like your rock bottom.
Yeah, it is rock bottom. It is rock bottom. And I never forget when I was telling her on the night, a guy in a motorcycle turned up, blacked out visor. Never forget this. This will stick with me for life. Knocked the door. He said, Mr. Jones. I said, yeah. And he handed over a big folder, okay? A massive folder, like an A4. And do you remember the old candle wax seal? Remember that?
Yep.
Well, those are your repossession papers for your house in the UK. That's what they do. They put them in a big folder and they candle wax it. You don't get it in an envelope or anything like that. It's all candle wax, believe it or not. So I put this folder on the table and I'm shitting myself. I'm thinking, oh my God. And there was a letter with it stating, you got to go to court on such and such a date. So I went to court. I remember it was pissing down with rain. And I was thinking, please, Lord, what do I do? I'm going to lose my house because I've been paid off work. I've really let my family down. That's how I felt. And I remember going to the court and this guy grabbed my arm and he said, come with me. He said, I'm helping you. This is what we do. When you're going to have your house repossessed, you get help, okay, from the court. They're like part of the court. And he said, I want you to shut up. Don't say anything, okay? I will talk. I will say everything. And I'm like, where's this dude coming from? Like, I don't understand. So I had to put all my trust in this guy. Yeah, I didn't know him from Adam. I thought, what? Who is it? And then went in the courtroom. There's my mortgage advisor or company, sorry, and the solicitors. And they're like, we want that house, blah, blah, blah. He hasn't paid his mortgage. Blah, blah, blah. And this dude just goes, okay, what Mr. Jones can do, he can make his repayments as normal, but he'll pay an extra £200 a month. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I can cope with that. If I come out this meeting and I've got to go and get a job that's going to pay, I will do it. And literally the judge within 30 seconds put the hammer down on the table, bang, and he went, done. But he said, Mr. Jones, if you don't keep up these payments within 12 months, so for the first 12 months, you have to make your mortgage payment as well as, these extra payments. There will be no court hearing. You will just have the house taken from you. And I remember going, okay, that's fine. And I wasn't emotional. And as I come out the courtroom, I shook this guy's hand and I'm walking to the car and I burst out in tears, And I thought, I hate life. I hate life. This is bullshit. It's not even my fault that I ain't been paid, blah, 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 blah. And that, I think from that day, right, it stuck in me, right, come on now, you need to get your shit in order, okay, and you need to, sort it out. And that's what I did. And I think that's where I get my persistence from, because I never, ever, ever, ever want to go back